Happy morning dear students. Welcome back to Science Online class. I hope you're all doing well. Children, in our previous session we have discussed about various organ systems like digestive system, respiratory system, cardiovascular circulatory system and about the excretory system. And in today's class we are going to learn about another important system. Why do I say this system as the very important is because without this organ system we will be shapeless and formless and we won't be able to move also. So children, you are right. Today our class is on musculoskeletal system. So we are going to revise chapter 3, bones and muscles. So the bones helps us to move from one place to another, as well as they helps us to move our body parts. But these bones, they cannot work alone. Okay, they need the help of muscles. The bones need the help of muscles to do their work. And also the muscles cannot work alone. They need the help of bones to complete their work. So that's why the bones and muscles, they always work together. They work in pair and they are called as musculoskeletal system. And the animal kingdom, okay, the animals, all the animals in our universe, they come under two broad classification. They are vertebrates and invertebrates. What are vertebrates? So in your previous classes you must have learned about vertebrates. Vertebrates are organisms that have a well-defined skeletal system or a well-organized skeletal system, which means vertebrates are generally organisms with a backbone, whereas invertebrates are organisms, they do not have a backbone, which means they do not have a well-defined skeletal system or organized skeletal system. And the invertebrates, the common invertebrates are jellyfish, crabs, locust, starfish, all these comes under the category invertebrates. Even snails and sponges will come under invertebrates. But the higher organisms like human beings, the animals, birds, reptiles, fishes, all of us comes under this wide classification called as vertebrates. So from the tiniest vertebrate to a giant whale, all of the vertebrates are made up of bones and muscles, because these bones and muscles, they helps us to move. And in this lesson we are going to learn how the bones and the muscles helps us to move and do the other jobs, other functions. So the most important function of the musculoskeletal system is, first one is movement, because the bones and the muscles, they work together. They help us to move from one place to another, as well as they help us to move our body parts. And the second thing is framework. The bones and muscles, they give the framework to the body. So all the bones in our body, they are joined with each other to form the framework of the body. It not only gives the framework, but also it gives shape and support to the body. So we all have a shape, no? Human beings, we have a shape. Each animals have different shapes. Okay, all these are due to the bones of the particular organism. And it also gives support to our body. So without bones, you can just see the human beings as like a pouch or a bag of muscles. Will be just like a clumsy muscle bag. But we are not so, because we are having bones in us. Fourth thing is protection. This is the most important function of our bones, because our bones protects the internal organs. For example, our brain is protected by the skull bone. Our heart and lung, they are all very delicate organs, isn't it children? So they are all very delicate and very important organs, and they are also protected by the bones. Okay, they are protected by the cage like bone called as rib cage. And the urinary organs, excretory organs, are protected by another structure called as pelvis. So when you place your hand in your hip, you will be able to feel a bone here, isn't it? This bone is called the hip bone. Hip bone is also called as pelvic bone. Okay, so this pelvic bone protects the abdominal as well as the other organs inside the lower abdomen. So next, so these are the 4 important functions of the musculoskeletal system. I'll repeat you once more. They provide movement. So we are able to move. It is because of this system working. Okay, second is framework. They give a definite framework. They give shape and support to our body. And the last one is protection. It protects all the delicate organs in our body. So children, do you know how many bones we have in our body? We have around 206 bones, and all these 206 bones, they all join together to form the skeletal system. So the 206 bones in our body, they join together to form the skeletal system. But in a baby, okay, when a baby is born, it actually has about 300 number of bones, and these bones, as the baby grows, so when you are born you are a baby, later you grow into a small child, then you become an adult. So as you grow, the bones will join with each other. Okay, they will fuse with each other and they will become mature. And the number of bones in an adult is 206. So an adult has 206 bones in their body. So an adult has 206 bones, whereas a baby, when it is born, it has 300, about 300 number of bones in their body. And these bones, okay, so at certain age, okay, when you see at age of 18 or 20, our bones will stop to grow. Okay, they don't grow anymore. They don't grow further and they stop to grow. But the tissues, you can see some tissues. So this is the internal structure of the bone. But the tissues which are present inside the bone, they still grow when the bone breaks or when any injury or repair happens to the bone. This tissue will regenerate and grow. So how does this tissue grow is due to the presence of the blood vessels. So you can see tiny blood vessels are running inside the bones. So these blood vessels provide nourishment to the bone. So it helps the bone to grow, and further it even have nerves, okay, nerves running through the bone. That's why we feel pain when our bones are hurt, when we have a fracture or any injury or any breakage that happens to our bone. We feel a very sharp pain. It is due to the nerves running through the bones. Okay, now we'll see the various bones present in our body. So you can just imagine from your head, okay, from your head to the foot. So the first is the skull bone. Skull bone is the hardest bone in our body. And you know children, our skull is not made up of only a single bone. Our skull is made up of many number of bones which are fused together. So these bones are fused together, okay, they are all joined together through something called as joints. So the joints attach the bones together. And can you find any of the bones in your skull moving? No, it's not moving because all the bones in your skull are immovable bones. They cannot move, but only one bone in your skull moves. Can you say which is that bone? Yes, it is your lower jaw. So your lower jaw is the only bone in your skull which moves. And the skull is very important bone. Why do we say skull is important? Because it protects the internal organ called as brain. So brain is kept very safe and protected inside our skull. So next we'll move on quickly. I'll give a recap about backbone. So the backbone has got two other names also. So they are called as spine. Okay, the backbone is also called as spine, and it is also called as a vertebral column. So your backbone will extend from your brain. Okay, from your brain it tapers lower till the end of your hip. So your backbone is not a single bone. It is not a single bone running from your brain till the lower region. It is made up of many number of small bones which are attached to each other through a rubbery tissue called as cartilage. So our spine is made up of small bones, and the name of the small bones, they are called as vertebrae. And these small bones, they join together to form the vertebral column, which we call as spine or the backbone. And each vertebrae, they are joined with each other. Okay, a vertebrae is joined with another vertebrae with the rubbery tissue called as cartilage. So cartilage is the rubbery tissue. It is a rubbery or elastic tissue that connects the one vertebrae, connects one bone with another, one vertebrae with another. Okay, next we'll move on to the rib cage. So rib cage is a cage-like bone, and it is made up of many number of bones, and this rib cage, it protects our heart and the lungs. And this rib cage bones, they are not very strong as a skull bone, and they have a special characteristic. Okay, they are flexible kind of bone, and you can find that when we breathe in, the rib cage move outwards. So when we breathe out, our rib cage moves inwards. So these bones of the rib cage, they keep on moving outward and inward. So next is the bones present in our arms and the legs. Okay, there are many bones present in our arm. In our upper arm we have one bone, and in our lower arm we have got two bones, and we have got many bones in our wrist, in our fingers. Similarly, legs also we have got thigh bone, and we have got two other bone in the lower limbs, and we have got many other bones in the ankles as well as in the toes. And last is the pelvic bone. So which is the pelvic bone? Your hip bone. Your hip bone is also called as pelvic bone. So this bone is also very important because this bone it protects many important organs, okay, in the pelvic cavity, and it also helps us to move from one place to another. It supports, this bone is the one which supports the entire weight of the body. And there are many joints in our body which connects the bones. So in this lesson, we will be learning in detail about each of these bones and about the joints and the muscles. So we will be learning how the bones and the muscles work together to perform their functions. So children, now you can turn your books to page number 9. Chapter 3, Bones and Muscles. So now we are going to read the lesson line by line, and we learn in detail about each of these bones. So children, turn with me to page number 9 in your book.
Children, are you all with me? You can turn your books to page number 9. From the tiniest fish to the giant blue whale, all vertebrates move with the help of bones and muscles. And we too move different parts of our body with the help of bones and muscle. So as you read on in this lesson, you will see how bones and muscles work together to help us move. So in this lesson, we'll be learning how bones and muscles work together and helps us to move. The skeletal system. All the bones of our body form the skeleton or the skeletal system. So children, you can watch the skeleton, the picture of a skeleton in your book. The bones of a body forms the skeletal system, and there are 206 bones. They are all joined together to make a framework for the body, and some of them also cover and protect the internal organs. So the skeletal system has 3 jobs which we have discussed earlier. First is it helps us move. Second, it forms a framework for the body and gives it shape and support. Third is it protects the internal organs. And a baby has many more bones than an adult. So baby has got more bones than an adult. As the baby grows, some of the bones join together. These bones, they also grow in size, okay? They also become big in size, larger in size, and after a certain age, the bones stop growing. So the bones will stop its growth after certain age. But the living tissues of the bones can always grow to repair the broken bones. But the living tissues inside the bones, they always can grow to repair. Okay, they can grow and regenerate. Regenerate means they can regrow and repair the broken bones. And the living tissue needs food and oxygen. Children, you can have a pencil in your hand and underline this. The living tissue always need food and oxygen. So the bones have blood vessels running through them. Okay, these blood vessels will give them oxygen and the nourishment, okay, the food or the energy needed by the tissue. And they also have nerves running through them. And this is why it hurts when a bone breaks. So when there is a fracture, when a bone breaks, it pains for us. It is because there are nerves running through the bones. So children, in this page, the 3 jobs of skeletal system is very important. And also you must know there are 206 bones in an adult body. So moving on to the next paragraph, next page. Students, I have given you the gist of the entire lesson. So now we are going to learn about each of the bones in detail. Little elaborately we are going to learn. So first is the skull bone. The bones of the skull are the hardest of all bones. So which is the hardest bone in our body? It is the skull bone. You can underline this. These bones form a case for the brain and give shape to the face. Okay, so these bones, they form a case. Okay, so how you keep things inside your suitcase, similarly these bones form a case for the brain. Case means a protective box. It's a kind of protection for the brain and it gives shape to the face. And all except one of these bones are fixed firmly and cannot move. So except one bone, all the bones are very fixed firmly and they cannot move. They are all immovable. Only the bone of the lower jaw can move. This is how we can open our mouth to speak and eat. So only our lower jaw, the bones of lower jaw moves. So this is how we open our mouth for eating and speaking. And the bones of the face also have hollows in them. Okay, hollows are sockets. Okay, we have sockets or hollows or cavities for the eyes, for the nose, ears and the mouth, and teeth fit into the jaw bones. Next, let's move on to the backbone. So many small bones join together to form the backbone. Backbone is also called as spine, and these small bones are called as vertebrae. Okay, each of the small bones. Children, you can look at the picture of a vertebrae. So many of such vertebrae, they join together to form the backbone or the spine or the vertebral column. So it has got 3 names: the backbone or spine or the vertebral column. And vertebrae are like beads and hollow at the center. So they look like beads. They have hollow. Hollow is a space. Okay, they have a gap or a space at the middle or center. And through them runs a bunch of nerves called the spinal cord. So why there is a space is through the space runs the spinal cord. You must have seen beads. Okay, the string runs through the beads. Similarly, through the vertebrae, through the hollow of the vertebrae, the spinal cord runs. Children, you can underline all the highlighted points there. The hollow through which runs a bunch of nerves called a spinal cord. You can underline what is vertebrae. And next, the tiny bones of the spine are joined together by rubbery tissue called cartilage. So what are cartilage? Cartilage are rubbery tissue which connects the tiny bones of the spine. So you can look at the picture of the spinal cord in your book. You could see that the vertebrae are connected with each other through a rubbery tissue called as cartilage. And do you know the cartilage helps the bone glide over each other. So because of this, we are able to bend and we are able to twist our back and our neck. Next is the rib cage. 12 pairs of curved bone make up the rib cage. So you can see the picture of rib cage in your book. 12 pairs of curved bone. Okay, the rib cage bones are a bit curved and it protects the heart and the lungs. these bones are strong. Though they are strong, they are flexible. Okay, they are flexible. They move outward when we breathe in to let the chest expand. When we breathe in air, the rib cage moves outward so that our chest expands, and 10 pairs of ribs are joined to the spine and the breastbone, which runs through the center of the chest. So in the center of your chest, you could see that 10 pairs of rib bones are joined to a bone, and this bone is called as breastbone, and the last two pairs are joined only to the spine. That means in this picture you could see that 10 pair of ribs are joined to the spine at the back and breastbone in the front, and this breastbone run through the center of the chest, but the last two pair of bones, they are joined only at the back. Okay, they are joined only to the spine, whereas they are not connected to the breastbone. Next we'll move on to the arms. One long bone runs through the upper arm. It is joined to the shoulder bone. So in this picture you can see there is a shoulder bone. So when you touch your back, okay, you could feel your shoulder bone. So this shoulder bone is connected to a long bone that runs in the upper arm, which is the bone of upper arm. The forearm has two bones, okay, and they join the bones of the upper arm at the elbow. So at elbow, the bones of upper arm and bones of forearm join with each other, and the wrist bones are joined to the palm bones of the palm. So you could see the wrist. Wrist is the place where we tie our watch. The wrist bones are joined to the bones of the palm. Okay, they're connected to bones of the palm, and the palm bones are joined to the finger bones. And each finger bone has got 3 bones, while the thumb has two bones. Next, we'll move on to the legs. The thigh bone is the longest bone in our body. So, the thigh is the longest bone in our body. It is joined to the hip bone. It is connected to the hip bone and to the 2 bones of the leg. And the leg bones are joined to the bones of the ankle. So, when you see the leg bones, 2 leg bones, they are connected to the bones of the ankle, which are joined to the bones of the foot. Okay, the ankle bones are connected to the bones of the foot, and the foot bone are also joined to the bones of the toes, and the big toe has 2 bones, whereas the other toes has 3 bones each. So next we'll move on to the joints. So if our body were not joined or did not have joints, we would not be able to move. So children, imagine if we don't have joints, then we won't be able to move. For example, if your finger bones were not joined, then you would not be able to hold anything. So if you don't have any joints in your finger, then you won't be able to grasp or hold anything. You won't be able to move your fingers. So we have different type of joints in our body. So some joints, like the joints in the skull, they are fixed. These joints, they do not move, so they are called as fixed joints, and others like the joints of the arms and legs, they can move, so they are called as movable joints. And the movable joints are also of many types, and ones that let us move freely are called as ball and socket joint. Okay, the movable joint is divided into 2 types. The one that we can move freely, okay, the joint which we can move freely, they are called as ball and socket joints. These joints are present in the hips and shoulders, and in such joints, the end of one bone is shaped like a ball. So in a ball and socket joint, wherever you can see a ball and socket joint, the bone's end of one bone is shaped like a ball, and this ball fits into a bowl-like socket in the other bone. The bone that fits into the socket can swing around the joint. For example, the bone of the upper arm to a socket in the shoulder, so that you can able to swing your arm around this joint. And the other type of movable joint is called hinge joint, and this type of joint is present at your knees and ankles. The joints at the knees and ankle, they are called as hinge joint, and they work like the hinge of a door or a penknife. So you would have observed the hinge of the door. Okay, so they allow us to move our legs and arms backward and forward, but we won't be able to swing our leg. And the joints of the toes and fingers are also hinge joint. So hinge joint is like the hinge of the door. It allows us to move front and back, okay, backward and forward, but not to swing them around. But in a ball and socket joint, we'll be able to move it in all direction. We'll be able to move it freely. We'll be able to move it front and back also. We'll be able to swing. So this is the common difference between a ball and socket and a hinge joint. Next, we'll move on to muscles. And do you know what makes the bones move? Yes, it is the muscles. Every bone in the body that can move has muscles attached to it. So every bone has muscle attached to it, and the muscles are attached to bones by tough cord-like things called tendons. The muscles are connected or attached to the bones by a cord-like substance called as tendons, and all the muscles of the body are not attached to the bones. So the muscles which are attached to bones, they are called as voluntary muscles. This is because we can move these muscles voluntarily according to our wish. Okay, you can move your arm muscle, you can move your leg muscle. These muscles are called as voluntary muscles. Whereas the muscles that help the heart beat and the muscles that help the foot move down the foot pipe, they are called as involuntary muscles. So what are involuntary muscles? The muscles that helps the heartbeat, the cardiac muscles, and the muscles which is found in your near your foot pipe, which helps the foot to move through the foot pipe. All these muscles are involuntary because we cannot control the action of these muscles. Since we cannot control the action of these muscles, they are called as involuntary muscle. Can you control the action of your heart? No, it is not possible because since our birth, our heart beats continuously and it stops only when we die. So these actions we cannot control. They are called as involuntary muscle. Now let's see how a muscle works. When a muscle attached to a bone contract, when a muscle contract, it pulls the bone and it makes the bone to move. It cannot, however, push the bone back in the other direction. Another muscle is needed to do this. So this is why muscle always works in pair. One muscle pull a bone in one direction and its partner muscle pull the bone in another direction. And also when one muscle contract to pull a bone, its partner muscle relaxes. So how does a muscle work? A muscle always work in pair because when one muscle pull a bone in one direction, what the partner will do is the partner muscle will pull the bone in the other direction. And also when one muscle contract to pull a bone, the partner will relax. So this is how our muscles work. So children, to summarize, in today's session we have revised about the skeletal system, the functions of skeletal system, and we have discussed in detail about each bones like the skull bone, the rib cage, the vertebral column, and about the bones of the arms and the legs. Then we have discussed about the two type of joints, fixed joint and the movable joints. The movable joints which are further classified into hinge joint and ball and socket joint. Then we have discussed about the muscles, the two type of muscle, voluntary and involuntary muscles, and about how a muscle work in this session. So children, you can turn to page number 13. We'll quickly do the book exercise now. Take a pencil in your hand. So fill in the blanks. First question, the bones that make up the spine are called dash. The bones that make up the spine are called vertebrae. Vertebrae. The answer is vertebrae. Second, the muscles are joined to bones by dash. So the muscles are joined to the bones by tendons. Tendons. The answer is tendons. Third one, each finger has dash bone. Yes, children, you're right. Each finger has three bones. The bones of vertebral column are joined by dash. The bones of vertebral column are joined by cartilage. Answer is cartilage. Question: the joints at the elbow and knee are dash joint. They are hinge joint. And most of the joints of the skull are dash. The joints of the skull are fixed. Okay, students, you can copy down the notes I have sent you and you also complete your book exercise. Students, your assignment for today's session is read the lesson 3 and complete the book exercise. Learn and copy lesson 3 notes in your classwork notebook. Thank you children. Have a nice day.